Welcome to the Beyond the Vines podcast, where I interview local business owners in Sonoma County to highlight small business and grow our community. I'm your host, Amy Ehlers, a mom, realtor, and Sonoma County native, and I'm excited to connect you to some amazing people in this beautiful area that we call home. Welcome back to the Beyond the Vines podcast. Thank you again for listening. I am really excited about today's episode. I think it's something that we all need to learn a little bit more about, and we're just so fortunate to have this incredible business right here in our community. So I am here today with Dawna from Refill Mercantile, located in downtown Petaluma. Dawna is the co-founder of Refill Mercantile, a thoughtfully curated low-waste shop and refillery in downtown Petaluma, California. By the way, I love the word refillery. At Refill Mercantile, they believe low waste is a journey and a commitment, and they aren't always perfect, but strive to do their best and are constantly learning. Their goal is for Refill Mercantile to be a local community hub where people can come together and learn more about low waste options to conveniently make the switch from single use to refillable, reusable, and compostable products so that we can all leave the earth a little better than we found it for our health and the health of future generations. So with that, I am so excited to introduce you to Dawna. Welcome, Dawna.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I am so excited to have you here today. I feel like I've already gotten to know you because we had some really fun bloopers getting this episode set up. So it's exciting to finally get to dive into this topic today. So can you tell us a little bit more about the inspiration behind your shop and kind of what motivated you to create this store?
Yeah. So Rob's my husband and co-founder.
Great.
We are avid hikers. Well, we used to be before the shop.
Yeah. When you had time.
Yes, when we had time. And we would do beach cleanups. We would do trail cleanups, trail maintenance. So we were seeing a lot of the trash that was going, and a lot of it was packaging. It wasn't just, normal trash that was ending up in the oceans and stuff. So, and we just kind of always leaned that direction, being a little bit more concerned with the nature.
Great.
And so we started our low waste journey many years ago, but really in 2020 before the pandemic. And we just started switching things out. And we were finding I had to do a lot of research, and I had to go to a lot of different websites. And there wasn't really like a central location where I knew things were vetted. And so, but in this journey of searching, we found refill shops. And at the time, there was only one in Sonoma County. And so we thought, what a great way of shopping.
Totally.
And doing something different. We kind of always wanted our own business. So we dipped our toes in with doing markets and things like that with just low waste products, knowing that eventually we wanted a brick and mortar.
Right.
And then the little space inside the mill came available. So
I love it. Yeah. That's amazing that you found, it's overwhelming to try to find ways. And like your bio was saying, you don't have to be perfect, but it's all of us trying to do little things. It is overwhelming to figure out which are good products. Where do I refill these from? All of the things. Yeah. And so the fact that you saw that and could provide that for our community, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Good.
Yeah. So how do you source the products that you offer in your store?
A lot of research. So we look at the companies first to make sure that they align with our values as well.
Beautiful.
And then, B corporations, we do tend to prioritize women-owned and local.
Love that.
As much as possible. And then we research the ingredients and if those are all okay. And we look at the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, which gives a score on all of the different ingredients and tells whether or not they're good or bad and why. And so if all of that looks good and the pricing looks decent for us, we test it out and then we go from there. I will say a lot of things don't make it into the shop.
Yes.
Because they don't work or I had an allergic reaction.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's a good way to test things out. I'm the guinea pig for everyone.
Amazing. Yeah. And I believe it was a post that you guys did. A lot of things that maybe we think are safe and good for the environment and are branded that way are not always necessarily there was a couple things on the list that I was like, oh, well, I thought I was doing a good thing.
It's the brands that are trying to maybe not necessarily intentionally do the greenwashing, but they're using that as a marketing tool.
Yep.
And here we are thinking that we're doing something good when really it's not great. And it's on the responsibility of the consumer to look at all of the ingredients and figure out what to do with the containers when they're done.
Right.
Which I don't think it should be that way.
Right.
It should just be safe.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a fair point, especially for anyone who has little kids or pets or, it's scary to think of what we use in our homes and it may or may not be safe. And we don't have a lot of time to dive deep into the research. Yeah. So it's really nice that you have done that legwork for all of us. Amazing. Yeah. So can you share some of the challenges you faced in promoting and encouraging low waste living within our community and how you've overcome those challenges?
I think one of the biggest things was just knowing that we exist and that stores like us exist. There's 5 in Sonoma County now.
Wow.
Which is great. There's Sebastopol, Sonoma, Petaluma, Cloverdale, and Windsor.
Fantastic.
And there's 1 in Napa now. There's 2 in Marin. Like it's spreading. There's over 500 across the U.S. I think it should be more mainstream. So that's one of the things that's hard for us to help promote low waste living. But being part of the Cool Petaluma program also is really great to be able to spread the word for us. And then in local news outlets as much as possible and people telling people.
And I was going to say word of mouth. Your social media is so good. When you said Cool Petaluma, I think that's actually where I first saw you. I think you had a display set up there. Yeah. My daughter and I went, my youngest daughter went, and we're exploring everything. And I think that is actually where I first saw you. So
that's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. It worked. Yeah. And your social media is a good way too, because I think your Instagram, I don't know who handles that. You or Rob, but you're amazing. It's like it really draws you in and it's entertaining, but it's also really educational. Right. So, which is the key, I think, for all of us.
That's what we strive for.
Yeah.
Because we have to grab your attention. Otherwise, I can rattle off all these fun, not so fun facts.
Scary facts probably too.
But also make it not a doomsday. We can do this. We can do what we can when we can and make it better. The world's not going to end if, we don't bring our reusable cup.
Right.
But just, try.
Try to. Yeah. Yeah. Because if we all don't, then we all have our off days. Can you kind of, and I'm throwing this at you, walk me through, so a customer who's never been to your shop before, how do they get started?
Yeah. So we actually encourage you to come in and look around, sniff everything. We have smell jars in front of all the refills, and just talk to us, have a conversation, bring a bottle if you want. We have community jars as well. So if there's something super interesting to you and you just weren't prepared, but you really want to try something, we have a free container that you can take, try it. That's the great thing about the refill station is you can try just a little bit. But yeah, don't be scared to come in. We're nice people.
You're friendly. That's a good point that you can try just a little bit. I didn't even think of that. You don't have to fill the whole jar up.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because when you go to the grocery store or whatever big box store you might go to, you're committing to a larger container. And what if you don't like it?
Yeah.
So
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. I'm thinking like off the top of my head, of course, like laundry soap's probably a big one. Hand soap. We go through hand soap. Like I can't even believe in our house. I'm like, how are we already out? I just bought some. So are those like some of your more popular products?
Laundry by far.
Okay.
And then dish and then hand soap.
Yep. That's another one we go through a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. That is so cool. And I love that you have like a smell. What did you call it? A smell jar? I love that because it's very important.
It is. Yeah. And we have people in there. It's so fun to watch them smell all of them and try and decide on which scent of dish soap
That's so funny. It's so true though. Cause I have and I know this was on the list of not as good products. There's a few Mrs. Meyer scents and I'm just like, these are amazing. And I thought I was doing good and they don't score very well, but But instead, I'm saving those containers and I'm going to bring them.
They're fabulous.
My husband's probably wondering what the stash of containers in the garage is. When he hears this episode, he's going to know because I don't think I've filled them in yet. So amazing. So are there any unexpected bestsellers that you've had in the shop?
Skincare, actually.
Yes.
That was something that we brought on a little bit later.
Yeah.
And just because I don't know enough about skincare, but another refill shop in Santa Rosa, who's since closed down, had a skincare line. And so she kind of chatted, we chatted and we brought hers in. It was a very approachable price point for everyone. People fell in love with it and the fact that you can refill it.
Yeah.
So it all came in glass and then, little 1 ounce containers for the serums, and then you can just refill it. Which
Amazing.
Was so nice. And so that was one of the things that kind of surprised us.
Yeah.
And so now we have 4 women-owned brands that do skincare, and 3 of them are in California.
Amazing. And I don't know if anyone else listening, the trend of all the tweens right now is skincare. I don't know why. None of them need it.
They don't.
Let's just wash our faces and moisturize and move on with the day.
Yeah.
But I always worry about what they're putting on.
Right.
So, and that's something we talk about a lot. If you want that for, Christmas or your birthday, that's the gift you're choosing, fine. But I'm not going to buy you this because that product's not safe for your face. But this one I'm okay with, or this one has sunscreen, so I'm okay. You know what I mean? Or something like that, where it's actually got a purpose on your 10-year-old skin.
Yeah.
But I think that would be great to bring them in and know that there's a safer option, because I do worry about that as they walk the aisles of Ulta, which I love Ulta, nothing against Ulta, but it's not made for the tween age, even though they think it is. So that's an interesting unexpected product that you have. And I think I need to bring our kids in at least for some alternatives to their trendy skincare.
People really like that we have skincare, and we have a whole self-care section with body polish and body scrubs and bath soaks and stuff, which are made locally. So it's really great.
That's so fun to see. I love that so much. So in what ways do you engage with your customers to really educate and inspire them on their low waste journey beyond just providing products?
Right. So when they come into the shop, we have a lot of conversations. People know how we clean at home, what deodorant we use. There's all these things that probably you wouldn't talk about in a normal store. But it's really great to be able to tell people that, this is what we use. We've tried everything. We've tested everything. So educating while in the shop is really key. People knowing the why behind doing all of this is, I think, really important, because then they know they need to keep going with it. And maybe this scent or this deodorant doesn't work for them, but they'll try another one that's natural, which is really great. And then we do, like you said, with Cool Petaluma, we did an event. We've done a couple others. I'll be doing another one at Grand Central.
Great. Cute spot. Yeah.
It's adorable. During April.
Great.
And so it's more of an education. So I have things set out on the table, not to sell, but to educate. I
love that.
Kids are shocked when they see that their gum has plastic in it.
That is interesting.
So,
wow.
It gets them thinking, I shouldn't be obviously not chewing plastic.
Yes.
So things like that we kind of set out, not to scare anybody, but to more educate. And here's the alternatives for paper towels. We still have a roll of paper towels in our house.
Wow.
That's probably never going to go away.
Wow.
But we use 1 roll a year. So
that's yes, that's amazing that you make it last that long.
Well, there's so many other alternatives that but there are times when you...
Yeah, sometimes you just need a paper towel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So, yeah. And we tell people this, and, you don't have to do everything all at once. I'm not saying get rid of everything.
You're right.
Still keep I still use Kleenex.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to find a replacement for.
Well, we were selling handkerchiefs. And
oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's such a hard... I think that's probably... That and Post-it notes are going to be my last things to give up.
Ooh, how do we fix Post-it notes?
They have reusable ones.
They do?
That you can... It's like a little dry erase.
Yeah. I was thinking a dry erase. So it's like a little...
It's in little squares that you can put everywhere, and they stick and come off. And I'm like...
I'm not there yet. Which is good, though, that you can... relate to people in that way. Like, yes, you're doing everything else, but some things you're not. We all just do the best we can. I think it's so good if people even come in and start with 1 or 2 products,
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference over time.
It does.
So,
yeah.
Wow, I love that. And I love that you're so honest about that. And yeah, you're right. I don't know if there's a replacement for the Post-its. That's a good replacement because I go through a lot of Post-its too. We got a lot of things in our brain that we have to write down. That's amazing. So how do you address concerns about accessibility and affordability when it comes to low waste living?
That's a tough conversation sometimes.
For sure.
So one of the things is reusing what you already have. Even us, we look around when we think we need something and just take a second and pause. Do we have something?
Right.
I use old cracker boxes that I would normally put in the recycle bin, and I cut it down so that I could store my pens in the drawer.
That's brilliant. Why have I never thought of that? That's brilliant. Yeah.
But you don't have to go buy a new beautiful bamboo organizer. You can just use cracker boxes.
That is actually really brilliant. Yeah.
But beyond that, we sell knot paper towels, which are really nicely sewn at locally sewn flannel pieces of cloth. Cut up some old flannel sheets.
Right.
Use those. You don't have to go out and buy new. Instead of buying our cutlery sets that are out of bamboo, put some in your own silverware. Inside of a cloth napkin and take it with you.
Yep. Right. You can find other replacements for it.
We don't need all of the cool stuff.
Yep.
Those are great for maybe gifting to nudge someone.
I love that.
But maybe, for me, myself, when I go to lunch at my day job, I have all my silverware wrapped up in
Right.
just a cloth napkin.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said cloth napkin because I do bring my own silverware, but I put it in a paper napkin. I'm going to switch that. That's a good reminder. Thank you. Like a little tweak, And
just every little bit counts. If everybody just did one little thing, I think it makes a huge impact.
It really does.
So,
and kind of thinking too, in my mind as a consumer about the affordability side of things, I feel like you're offering so much value somebody going to a big box store isn't going to be able to ask anyone working there 20 questions about the cleaning product they're using. No one's going to have any idea. Yeah. And weighing the different options of the different ones. And do you have this in your home? Nobody's going to even know what they're talking about. Right. So I feel like even if things do feel like they might cost a little bit more upfront, they're also gaining so much value from you guys.
Value. And a lot of our products, price comparison wise,
right,
they'll be comparable to maybe 7th Generation or Mrs. Meyer's.
There you go.
But they're more natural. They're made by small women-owned companies. And so Mrs. Meyer's and 7th Generation.
Right.
I have a shirt that says "Stop buying Tide."
I love that. I don't buy Tide.
Good. Nothing against them. That's what that's what I grew up with.
Yes.
But, if Tide and Dawn and Mrs. Meyer's and 7th Generation all paid their employees a fair wage, all sourced ethically, and took back their containers at the end of their life,
right,
it wouldn't be as affordable as it is. And so the companies that we work with in our refill station, most everything is on a closed loop. So the larger containers that we get everything in get sent back, sanitized, and reused.
Amazing.
Or Some of them come in buckets, 5-gallon buckets, and we donate those to local farms.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, even like when you were saying your reusable paper towels, like I'm sure that's an upfront cost. But when I think about how many paper towels our giant family uses, over time, I'm spending more money on all the paper products than I would if I'm just reusing and washing these. Yeah. So that's amazing. Can you share any success stories or really notable moments where you've seen like some impact from your shop?
I would love to be able to actually see the impact. But so outside of us counting our refills, which is, we just went over 9,000 since we opened.
That's amazing. And how long? You haven't been open that long?
Just over 2 years.
That's amazing.
So,
that's a huge impact.
Was doing that.
Yes.
But seeing that light bulb moment when customers come in and they just walk around and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to buy those plastic containers again. I can just come in and refill it. And it's that excitement is really what keeps us going. Yeah. And customers coming back in and saying, I don't have anything in my recycle bin now. I don't have very little goes into the trash. Wow. Because they're reducing their packaging. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's so cool too, because people are coming to refill. You're seeing your same customers all the time, which must be so fun.
And we get to see kids grow up.
I was just going to say, you're seeing like the kids come in. This is great. I love
and
that.
And they get involved. Yes. And it's good for them to see that too. So
yeah, that's so true. Yeah. That's amazing. So what advice would you give to someone who's just starting their journey towards a low waste lifestyle? We talked a little bit about taking those small steps.
Yep. Start small, reuse what you have. Make one switch. Choose dish soap seems to be the easiest. I feel, and you're always buying a new container, either plastic or aluminum.
Right.
And why not reuse it instead of recycling it? And I like to say, like, Petaluma has 22,000 households. If every household refilled one item one time per year.
That's amazing.
That would be huge.
That would be huge.
But start small and see how that little shift feels. And if you like it, try laundry soap, try hand soap, try the solid dish soap bars.
Amazing.
And then maybe start switching other things out, but not all at one time. That's just too much to do.
Overwhelming. Probably too overwhelming and too big of an investment at first, probably too. Trying to get it. What is a dish soap bar? I'm just curious.
So solid dish soap.
Okay.
It's going to last you a really long time. So it's just like, bar soap that we are all used to. But they come as dish soap. So it cuts the grease. It cuts through everything. They work fantastic. So you're getting rid of any bottles, and they last a lot longer than liquid dish soap because you're not, a lot of us just
overusing. I do. I'm like, yeah, totally. Oh, can you do like let's say I'm washing a pan. Do I just scrub the actual bar on the pan, or do I put on my hands?
You would put it either on a sponge or a scrub brush.
Oh,
but if you need to soak a pan, you can just run hold the bar under the water as you're filling the pan.
Brilliant.
But when I do I batch delabel all the donated jars that come in.
Right.
I do use the liquid soap and I use a lot of it.
Yeah, I can imagine. But you're doing it for a good reason.
Yeah. So we have both at home.
Wow. I definitely want to try that. I'm just curious about it. That's awesome. So coming off of the shop a little bit, what are 3 fun facts about you personally?
That one is a hard one.
So hard.
So I am a grandma of a toddler.
No way. That's awesome. Yeah.
I was a young mom.
Amazing.
And so I get to be a young grandparent.
Which is fun, right? Yes. That is very cool.
We go on little hikes. I have him on Fridays and we go on little short hikes, and he just loves being out in nature. So
that's amazing.
That just lights up my life. And then Rob and I have a hiking blog.
Wow.
That it's not been kept up as much as I would like. But it's still out there. It still does really good. people can find us out there.
What's that? Where can they find it? The
It's
blog
called Hike Then Wine.
Hike Then Wine. Psh, this sounds perfect. I love this.
Yeah. And that's what we did for, I don't know, 8 years.
I love that.
And doing that. So that was fun. And then anytime I can be barefoot.
Amazing.
Like just shoes are off.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And you'll sometimes see that in the shop.
That is awesome. Even lately when it's been so cold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That's impressive because I love being barefoot, but I got to wear slippers this time of year. My feet are freezing. But I love to just be barefoot too. So that's really funny. Wow.
Yeah.
In the shop. I think that fits the vibe. I think that's great.
Yeah. I mean, I try and put them on, but sometimes I'll be in the back and customers will come in. I'm like, oh,
shoes. I bet nobody minds. That's awesome. Those are great facts. That is amazing. And I think everybody should check out your blog too. So I always see posts too on Facebook, like, where are some new hike ideas? So it'll be good for me to have that, to be able to share that link. So that's great. So at the end of each episode, I like to ask, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to that really helped you in your career?
I would. Honestly, like the downtown Petaluma community has been amazing. Other refill shop owners, and then Dan from Jupiter Foods.
Oh, this is the second time Dan has come up on my podcast. I need to have Dan on.
You should have Dan.
He's been thanked now twice. Dan, you're amazing.
Yeah, he sends customers our way. And we do that with him. We do a lot of collaborations together, which is awesome.
Amazing.
So just having that cheerleader in your on your side, and just the downtown Petaluma community in general, though, has been very
That is so cool. Tell Dan he needs to reach out to me because obviously he's got the good community spirit going, which I love to promote. So. Yeah,
no, he's the hub.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's so great. I love that. So where can my listeners find you? In person and on social media, all the things.
So the store is located inside the mill at 6 Petaluma Boulevard North. And on Facebook, Instagram, we're at Refill Merc.
Great.
And then refillmercantile.com is our website.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in today and dealing with our bloopers in the beginning. I mean, that was an experience in itself.
That was good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for listening.
If you like what you hear, please be sure to like and subscribe, learn more about Sonoma County and all that we have to offer here.